Kamala Harris decided to host a roundtable discussion and have a little chat on marijuana policy and reform recently. She invited Fat Joe, the rapper and activist, to come in and moderate the thing, as well as Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear and a whole bunch of Joe Biden's marijuana pardon recipients to come in and discuss how the state of things and where it all should go. Now, most of the meeting was behind closed doors, but Harris's speech beforehand gave some pretty clear signals as to where they're going with this whole thing. So I sat down and watched it, so you don't have to. So let's break this little egg open. Check this one out.
I'm sure this is going to be a very impactful meeting to hear all your impactful stories. And we're going to keep this intimate, as I was asked. So, press, we thank you for being here, but...
Hold on, I'm going to give a statement too.
Okay.
Oh, hold on there, buddy. Now, I'm sure you're doing some wonderful things out there, Fat Joe, but let's not get ahead of ourselves here. You're here as a political stunt guy. No one in that room cares about your opinion, okay?
We have gathered today, however, to address specifically the injustices that we have seen in federal marijuana policy. I have said many times, I think we all at this table believe, nobody should have to go to jail for smoking weed.
All right, so she's parroting Joe Biden here when he did his marijuana pardons a while back, right? He said, no one should be jailed for using marijuana. Now, social justice reform is a big part of cannabis reform for a lot of people, and they're trying to prove that they're working for those people, especially as many have pointed out, when Harris was a prosecutor, she was locking people up for marijuana. So the Biden-Harris ticket is trying to solidify their platform here.
First, I will tell you that we have pardoned tens of thousands of people with federal convictions for simple marijuana possession. And today we are joined by some of the pardon recipients so that we can have a conversation about what this has meant for them as a model and inspiration for what we must do for many others who are not at this table. And their stories, I will tell you, are proof of the importance of pardons and what it means in the life of an individual.
So here are those marijuana pardons again, right? They haven't been doing much for marijuana reform, so they don't have too many cards in their deck. So this is a big one they're pushing. They've got people here who receive pardons, but most who have said they didn't really do anything for them. They've still got records and, you know, all the problems that comes with. So she's trying to make the pardons look as good as possible.
Second, we have issued a call to action for states to pardon these types of offenses, in particular on possession. That is why I've asked the governor of Kentucky to be here, Governor Beshear, who has basically pardoned and has addressed the convictions of people in Kentucky with simple marijuana possession convictions.
All right, yep. She's applauding the governor of Kentucky here because without the state governors joining in on the pardons, they're kind of a lame duck. You can be pardoned for federal offenses, but still remain in jail on state offenses. So it makes what they did look more legitimate.
Third, we have directed the Department of Health and Human Services and the Department of Justice to reassess how marijuana is classified under the federal drug schedule. And I cannot emphasize enough that they need to get to it as quickly as possible. And we need to have a resolution based on their findings and their assessment. But this issue is stark when one considers the fact that on the schedule currently, marijuana is considered as dangerous as heroin.
Okay, here's the big ticket item, right? The cannabis rescheduling thing. Biden's been going around already claiming a win on cannabis rescheduling, which if it did happen, it'd be the biggest reform in 50 years. But she's also calling out the DEA here. There are rumors the DEA doesn't want to do it. And if they don't, it would be a huge blow to the Biden campaign, as he's really, really pulling for that marijuana vote. And losing that might mean losing the election. So she's putting the pressure on them by calling them out. I love it.
This issue is stark when one considers the fact that on the schedule currently, marijuana is considered as dangerous as heroin. Marijuana is considered as dangerous as heroin and more dangerous than fentanyl, which is absurd, not to mention patently unfair.
And that's just common sense, guys. And it's great to hear the Biden administration actually say it. So That's what happened. And I think they're sending a pretty clear signal as to where they are going with marijuana on this campaign.